All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are starting Unit 9, Day 1, and today we are going to talk about factoring. So our objective is, I can factor using the greatest common factor. Greatest common factor, also known as the GCF, okay, which you've probably seen and heard of before. All right, so very first thing, we've got some definitions. Hopefully this won't take too long, but to factor or a factor, okay, so we're going to be talking about factors a lot, is a number that nicely divides into another number. So that means like no remainder. So, for example, factors of 10. So what are all the things that go into 10 nicely? Well, one's a factor of everything. 2, 5, and 10. Those are all factors of 10. Okay, next up, greatest common factor. Greatest common factor is the largest factor that two or more numbers have in common. A factor that two or more numbers have in common. Two or more numbers . Okay, so greatest common factor. We're going to refer to this often as the GCF. Okay, we're going to talk about the greatest common factor a lot, and a lot of times I'll just call it the GCF. Okay, so let's look at some examples. If you need more time, pause this, write it all. All right, so for example, find the GCF of 12 and 20. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is to write all the factors of 12. Okay, well, 1, 2, so we're writing all the things that divide into 12. So the easiest way to do it is just go through. Okay, is 3 a factor? Yes. Is 4? Yes. Is 5? No. 6? Yes. Okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so there's all the factors of 12. All the factors of 20. 1, 2, 3, nope, 4, yep, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and, well, the last one has to be 20. Okay, so looking at this list, what's the thing that's the very biggest that they have in common? Well, they both have a 4. So the GCF is 4. Okay, that's it. I can give you a couple to try if you want and to double check. So one right here, we're not done with the video, but this is it for GCF. So GCF of 24 and 36. Okay, so taking a look at all the factors of 24, would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 times 4, 3 times 8, 2 times 12, and 1 times 24. Okay, same thing with 36. Okay, think of all the things that go into 6. 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 goes in there, yeah, 4 times 9, 6 times 6. Okay, so then we're just kind of pairing them up, 9, 12, 18, and 36. Okay, so what's the biggest of that group that they share in common? Oh, they both have a 12, so the GCF is 12. Okay, we can do this same thing for polynomials. So that's what we're going to look at next. We're going to look at how to factor a polynomial. So if we had to factor a polynomial, so first we're going to find the GCF. So like, what's the GCF? 2. Factor out. That kind of means like divide it out. Okay, and third, what's left? Okay, so as we look at problems, for examples, 14m plus 35. Okay, if you need to, write all the factors of 14, all the factors of 35 to think of what goes into 14 and 35. Okay, so we should see that the GCF is 7. 7's the biggest number that goes into 14 and into 35. So if we take that out, what remains? So if we divide this part, if we divide this by 7, we're left with 2m. Okay, if we divide this part by 7, we're left with 5. So that's what our answer looks like. That's our final answer when we factor. Okay, so let's look at one more. Okay, so if we had to factor, let's see here, 12x plus 42. Okay, what's the biggest thing that goes into 12x and into 42? Well, the GCF is 6. So if we divide these things by 6, take 6 out of the first part, and we're left with a 2 and an x, and take a 6 out of 42, and we're left with 7. So that's what we mean when we say factor a polynomial. Okay, I'm going to give you 4 problems to try, and then that's it. So give these a try. Okay, GCF, so that's like our first examples of 15 and 60 and 48 and 32. Okay, so find the GCF of both of those. Okay, 1 problem, 2 problems. Okay, next 2. Factor, so this is like factor the polynomial, 6x plus 12 and 4m minus 16. Okay, bring this to class tomorrow and write down any questions you have. We'll take a look at it together. Have a great evening.